I would not be where I am today if it wasn't for the fact that I failed so many times in my career.
So to pick up on something you said earlier about all of your work with individual artists, obviously you work with Jarren Ben really closely, and a lot of producers and rappers are interested in these types of, I guess, what I would consider 50-50 situations where a producer and a vocalist tend to work exclusively together on, one or more projects. And I do that. I love doing it. But I know when I started out doing that, I made a lot of mistakes and got myself into a lot of unequal partnerships. Based on your experience, what makes a 50-50 situation like that work for both the producer and the vocalist?
I think there has to be a mutual interest in between both parties to want to do something like that. Obviously, for me and Jarren, we've been working together for so long, but we've never given the fans an exclusively Kato Jarren EP. So we just felt like it was time. And aside from that, we're homies. Like, we're just friends. I believe in just making music with your friends and people that you like, So I never want to force a situation where I'm working on a project or music with an artist that I don't really fuck with. I always want to do stuff like with my homies. So I think it comes down to that, man. Like, just work with people that you like, work with people that you believe in, and vice versa. Make sure that they believe in you and they like you. And I think everything after that can be figured out.
There are so many income streams out there for producers, and a lot of us don't take advantage of them simply just because we don't know they exist or we don't know how. What are some income streams that you've recently learned about that you've started taking advantage of?
The biggest revenue stream that has also been a challenge but a real learning experience for me was starting Beat Club, because for me, it's something I'm passionate about as a producer, just helping to educate and elevate other producers and help them understand mostly the business and entrepreneurial side of what we do, but also turning that into a sustainable business. So we're in the process of merging with Music Entrepreneur Club. I started Beat Club over a year ago, and I've learned a lot from my mistakes of running that. But it's a monthly subscription model. And I've never done that before. Like, I didn't know the first thing about how to run a subscription model. But I learned things along the way. And now we're at the point where we're merging with Music Entrepreneur Club and really trying to scale and broaden our audience. So I think that has been a really fulfilling journey for me, just learning how to operate that on the business side, and I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I learned.
So any producers interested, or actually any artists now, since you're merging with MEC, which is Dame Ritter's online subscription service, how do vocalists, recording artists, producers sign up and get more information about Music Entrepreneur Club and Beat Club?
Just go to musicentrepreneurclub.com. MEC kind of took us under their umbrella. So if you go to their website, we're still in the process of merging the two groups. So we're trying to figure out a different platform that works for both of us. So the website's kind of a mess right now. It's not, it still has like the plans up there, but hopefully by the time this video comes out, we'll have all of our shit together. But just go to musicentrepreneurclub.com and you can sign up either. If you're an artist, we have plans available just for artists. If you're a producer, we have Beat Club under that umbrella too, and you can sign up for the Beat Club plan, and you can even do both if you want to.
So back to you, you've been creating a lot of content, exclusive content, and posting it on social media. So I've seen you do some remixes. I've seen you do some behind the beat kind of videos where you're breaking down some of your more popular songs. Obviously, you have to put on the video editor's hat when you sit down and do that. But one of the videos, and I think it was the breakdown for the lead single off of 1 Week Notice, you have this super dope beat breakdown video that's really well produced, in terms of the video and the audio, of course. It seemed that you partnered with Propeller Heads on that because you used Reason and you used Reason to create that beat. Is that a formal partnership?
Yeah, so I've been using Reason for a super long time, and I've always wanted to partner with them on some sort of content. I just never had a direct relationship to Propellerhead. Just through the years, I've developed so many relationships, and I finally linked up with a producer named Justin Williams, who Reason does like a lot of sponsored videos with, and he's a Reason user. And so I linked up with Justin, and I brought him on Beat Club to do an interview with him and, you know, share some more knowledge and experience with the Beat Club members. And so Justin really made that connect, and he linked me up with Propellerhead. And from there, it was just us figuring out some cool content to shoot together, and we got some more on the way. So yeah, it was just through knowing the right people, bro. You know how that shit goes. Like, it's just all about networking.
To close out, I saw a video that you posted where you're just basically telling viewers about your journey into music, and you had a moment of panic where I think you had just gotten evicted from your apartment.
Yeah.
You didn't know what you were going to do. Somehow you just hustled your way into creating now all of these new revenue streams for yourself, and you did it fast because you knew you would just kind of, you know, I don't know, live like an indigent for the rest of your life if you didn't figure it out.
Yeah.
There are a lot of producers out there who want to be full-time producers, but they're just scared to death to quit their job and leave a comfortable situation to journey into this uncharted territory, which being a professional producer. What advice can you give them if they're considering making that leap?
Man, you know what? I would not be where I am today if it wasn't for the fact that I failed so many times in my career and took a lot of chances, you know, took a lot of risks. So for any upcoming producer or artist that is wanting to have a career in the music industry, like, this shit is not easy, and you have to be willing to learn from your mistakes. So my biggest advice would be go out and fuck up. Like, go out and make mistakes. Go out and take risks, especially when you're young, bro. Like, when you're in your early 20s or even mid 20s, like, that's the age where you should be willing to put it all on the line. Like, take some fucking risks, and if you fuck up, like, it's not the end of the world. If anything, you're going to learn a lot from those mistakes, and it's going to make you a better entrepreneur. It's going to make you a better producer. It's going to motivate you more to want to be successful and to want to keep pushing forward, you know? So whenever I meet an aspiring producer and he tells me that he's too scared to, like, put out his music, or he's afraid that it's not good enough, that should be like the easiest risk that you're willing to take, just putting your music out there. For me, part of my story was I struggled for many, many years before I got to this point, just trying to figure it all out. I've lived in, like, some of the shittiest places in Atlanta. I've been evicted from my place. Like, I got kicked out of my place. I've had to live in my girlfriend's, like, living room with boxes stacked up to the ceiling, you know, and that's when I had that revelation that you were talking about. And in that month, like, when my back was really against the wall, my experience allowed me to know what to do from there. And I made 10 racks, like, in that month, like, living out of my girlfriend's living room. I made 10 G's and got myself out of that situation. And I wouldn't have been able to do that if I didn't have the knowledge or experience from taking these risks and fucking up, you know? That's my advice to any up-and-comer, man. You have to be willing to put it all on the line, and at some point, make calculated risks. You don't have to make stupid decisions and make dumb mistakes, but take calculated risks and don't be afraid to fuck up.
So I would always ask producers that I've interviewed if they had a damn that hurt moment. You kind of set me up perfectly for that segue. What is a big mistake that you've made that you learned a lot from?
I don't know if there was one specific incident, but I would say there were a lot of times probably where I didn't kind of cultivate the relationships that I've created over the years. That's one thing that I look back and I'm like, damn, well, if I would have just kind of got in with this one artist a little bit more, then I know I would have a Billboard hit by now, or I know I would have a Grammy by now. You can't overlook anyone in this game because you never know who you meet. Someone you meet today could end up becoming the biggest or hottest artist or producer 5 years from now, you know? And there's no way to know. Like, everyone, when you're at that level, just like coming up, everyone's kind of the same to you. Like, everyone's just on their grind, like trying to hustle, trying to make it. So you don't know who that person's going to be 5 years from now, but always treat people with like respect and just be good to people, you know.
I don't know if you feel comfortable saying a name. I'll say a name because it happened to me. It was with Lil B, and I told Lil B's producer and DJ keyboard kid that that I had a chance to create a lot of albums with him. He asked me to, and I was just freaked out by his process because it was so non-traditional. Not just the way he rapped and recorded, but the frequency at which he was just dropping projects. And that freaked me out, and that was a major mistake on my part. So I'm opening the floor for you here.
There have definitely been a couple artists that have come into my life, especially early on in my career, man. I mean, I'm in Atlanta, you know, I'm in like a hub for hip hop and rap. And so I've met a lot of artists throughout the years. I've come across a lot of artists who have gone on to do some really, really big things. I'd probably look like a fucking idiot if I just sat here and name dropped like all the people that I've come across and that I haven't like fully taken advantage of. I think it's all right. You know, I'm okay with it because at the end of the day, like I'm still sitting here doing what I love to do. And as long as I get to make music, man, like I'm happy. I don't necessarily need to be that guy like at the top of the charts, or there are other ways and avenues for me to pursue what I love to do, and I do it on my own terms, you know.
So how do people reach you, man? How do they get at you on social media for beats, for more information about Beat Club, etc.?
At Kato Producer is my Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, SoundCloud handle, and if you want beats, you can go to nastytrax.com, nastytrax.com, and for Beat Club, musicentrepreneur.club.com.
Appreciate you, man. Much continued success to you, and I know that the viewers appreciate you sharing your story and your successes and failures with them.
This was long overdue, so thank you for having me, man.